We'll go over
Good morning, everyone.
Everyone, since it's just you, this should be fairly easy enough. We're going through, just continuing our conga line of verbs. I'm going to leave it like this because when I try to zoom in, it becomes a little bit too zoomed. So verbs ending in new, for the more average ones. Unfortunately, there aren't that many verbs amongst the common verbs that end in new. There's one of the only few that I could find was she knew. I was looking for a verb that wasn't to die.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, we have another client coming in, so I'm just going to hold off for 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Since he's more basic than where you're at, so that we can go over with him.
Yeah, of course.
New verbs in
なんかもう一個あった気がするんですけど。
Not too many. Maybe you...
Not at all.
No.
Oh no, I'm just going over this so that way we cover all the bases. This is going to be a quick one.
おはようございま
Even
す。
starting with new is not many.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, yes, yeah. New is not a very... Hello.
Nuigurumi, I can...
Oh, the
yeah.
word itself is like super not used. The letter
No.
itself.
Hi.
Yo.
Doing okay?
Yep.
Yep. So, ready to jump right in? Or?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to quickly go over this one in terms of the grammar. As I've been doing the last few weeks, we've just been moving one hiragana column at a time in terms of what the verb ends in. The end column, and so new in this case, is going to be fairly quick because there are not many verbs that end in new or words that begin with new in general. This is a comparatively uncommon hiragana character, certainly for beginning or ending words. The only verb, well, there's a couple, but one of the only common verbs that ends in new is shinu, for to die. Anywho, like with the other so-called u verbs that we've gone over, let's do the same conjugating that we've done before, just to see it for practice. So, with me so far? With what we've been doing so far?
Yeah.
So, still have our handy-dandy chart. We've been going over it like so. We did Su last week. So, going from new, if we go from the u row over here and go to up one to the e, gives us ni. So, with that in mind, we keep that verb, the verb that we've been talking about. So, if the original verb is shinu, then this is the verb stem.
Maybe better with the blue?
Possibly. Yeah, this is a little bit faded.
Can't see
Yeah.
anything.
Sorry.
I'm good.
The marker is shinu.
Yeah, the marker is this is called metaphor. There we go. Much brighter version of saying to die. So, the she would be the verb stem, and the new go up one row to the e row becomes shini. Oh wait, let me old habit. And then once we have that, as we've been doing with all the others, to make it positive becomes shinimasu. For negative, wait. Apparently the eraser is dying too. Shinimasen. So to not die. And that, like I said, we're taking this very little bit by little bit is what I have for this one. This is like I said, not one you're going to see very often, but I figured I wanted to give it its day in court. But yeah, that's what we have for the grammar. Now, you've undoubtedly already seen this before. Right. Any questions? No. Da.
I googled. It's no question.
Yeah.
I googled the verb that ends with nu, and it says that shinu is the only one, which is crazy.
There was one other one that I found where it was I don't know where the pronunciation would be, but I know inu is the word for dog, but apparently there was a verb inu that was.
Yeah, but that's not. That's jodoshi datte. That's a adverb.
Oh, so I guess
Apparently.
shinu really is the only one.
It's crazy, but you still need to know.
Yeah, just so that way we cover all of our bases.
Sorry,
We are.
it's flying.
Everything okay?
Yes.
I think we better skip shinu already. It's not a good word anyway. So.
Go away. It's not going away fast enough. Okay, no more death. And
was wondering if maybe that makes it taboo, a new sound. That's why it's not used in the
Actually, it's funny you should mention that. So, the,
Because I know
one of
that's
the-
why you don't say like ichi, san, shi.
Well,
Instead, you typically will say yo.
now chi you can say, but it's funny you should bring that up, that's where I was gonna go with it. You maybe have heard about how in East Asian, or at least certainly in China, I don't know if it's also the case in Japan, the unlucky number is 4. For that reason, which is part of the reason why there's not in some places not a 4th floor, the way that in the West sometimes it's not a 13th floor. So this fun little fact. We don't have many of the verb endings to go after this because we've already done ru. All we have left for the normal verbs are mu, and then we'll go all the way back here to there are verbs that just end in u. So those will be the last 2 we'll go over the next couple of weeks, and then we'll finally. Boom. See, this is why I have my teacher's assistant. Very good.
Yes.
So yes, we have 3 more weeks then, and then we'll finally break out of verb land into other things. Any questions about anything? So, on to the more fun part, away from death and towards bullet trains. Shinkansen. Heard of this, I'm guessing. Nice. Good experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time the other one goes by, you get a real shock.
Where did you go?
We went from Tokyo to Kyoto.
That's a fairly standard one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, as we've been doing it would help if I could speak English. As we've been doing the past few times, I try to say the conversation with somebody first, so that way just give a sense of what's being said. Would anybody care to join me in this adventure?
Sure.
Sure. Thank you. So, would you like to be Wendy-san, or would you like to be Michiko-san?
Whichever one you prefer, I guess I'll be one. But
Yeah, just start from
The beginning. Okay.
Wendy-san and Michiko-san.
So, in your best Wendy-san voice.
all right, my
No,
best
I'm joking.
Wendy's-
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, it's gonna sound a little different.
No, that's.
楽しみですね。これから新幹線に乗ります。
初めてですか?
Sounds different than my usual frog rasp.
Oh, you speak Japanese very well.
All right. Oh,
No, you can use your regular voice now, by the way.
はい。アメリカには新幹線がありません。
そうですか。日本にはたくさんあります。
わかりました。この新幹線は何と言いますか?
By the way, but for this one, you want to somewhat double up on the E, so it's like iimasu.
言いますか?
Yeah, so that way, make sure that you're enunciating that there's 2 of them in a row.
Right, so different word completely otherwise.
Yeah, because iimasu would be a different verb. But that's okay. That we are learning. Hokkaido Shinkansen desu. JR Hokkaido kara desu. This.
JR 北海道?
あの
Yes.
なんか名前があるんですかね。
The name of the company.
ああ、会社の名前か。
そう多分。
I thought you were talking about the Hikari or Kodama or those.
でも北海道新幹線ってそういう
we
の
are geographically still going in order, so we're leaving from Hokkaido to go somewhere else. I wanted to keep the continuity of the story.
You know
あ、そういうことじゃなくてね。
there was a big news in Hokkaido.
Yes, and the Shiratoku Peninsula. Yeah. Very sad.
何ですか？私聞いてない。
There was a.
It's
Please.
no.
What happened?
So at Shiratoku Peninsula, where actually was our first episode of this series, the tour boat went out in very stormy waters and I capsized, or I'm not sure. Like it basically
They
went into the water.
sank
Yeah.
at the bottom, deep water.
Yeah.
And then they all died.
ー、
And,
最近ですよ。
the captain was
Inexperienced.
calling. No, the captain had experience, but he was calling to his wife that the boat is sinking and I don't think we can make it. And
Oh my
thank you for everything. And then after a minute or so, the phone got disconnected, and that was it.
I remember reading that the captain was relatively new, that they had replaced somebody who had more experience.
He was hired new, but he had
Oh,
experience.
okay.
The reason why there's a story behind there. Why was he new? Almost everybody in that company was fired recently because the owner of the company wanted the yes man. Only the guys who listen to
Tell him what
the boss.
what he wants to hear.
So if the weather's windy and choppy water, no, you can go to the customer has a reservation, so you have to go onto the boat.
You put money over safety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they put people and they let them go.
Everybody should sue his ass.
Yeah, and it's
Excuse my French.
yeah, and it's far enough away from any like large city that it's. I think I remember reading in one article it's a blind spot of safety, just that literal area geographically, because it's not close to anything where there's very quick emergency services.
But so the captain had experience, but he was hired new.
Yeah.
So he couldn't say no, no, boss. It's
Too dangerous.
It's gonna be bad weather in the afternoon, so I don't think it's safe. What are you talking about? You can go, and then he went. And the other problem is that company should have the radio connected to the boat, but the antenna of the radio signal was broken a couple of months ago, and so they didn't have any radio communication with the boat. Only the cell phone they could use, but the cell phone signal out in the ocean
Yeah.
is not always
Won't
work.
yeah. So there you go.
There you go.
How many people?
About 20
29.
people.
Oh my
29, 30.
But just off the coast of Hokkaido was deep water, so the divers can't go down, and even the salvage boat can bring up the boat. And there's still
They can't retrieve the body.
some passengers were trapped. They say it's trapped inside the boat.
Oh, I see.
And about half the people were coming out with a life jacket in the water up to the surface.
Yes. Because they had no craft like anything with a lifeboat, just for example, that people could get into in case something like this should happen. No, it was just life rafts, which is not good enough, to state the obvious.
And the other thing is they were not supposed to go out in the ocean until this weekend, which is beginning of holiday week this week,
Oh, Golden Week?
Golden Week, because Hokkaido is still cold.
Yeah.
And it's like wintry conditions sometimes. So their tourist companies were scheduled to go out from this weekend, but they went out a week ahead for the money.
110 years ago this month, Titanic, by the way. Speaking of, yeah.
Wow.
Bad month for boats.
Yeah. No, I know.
In the northern area,
Yeah.
not here, but
In the middle of the North Atlantic, not a fun time. Yes,
can you go up?
certainly.
ですね, I think that a little higher, upper, one more. So, when Wendy-san asked, この新幹線は何と言いますか? What is this 新幹線 called? What Kim-san was talking about is each 新幹線 has name.
Right.
So, in Hokkaido Shinkansen, according to what I looked up, it says Hayabusa to Hayate. That's like a nickname of the model or model plus where it's running. So, and both are hiragana. So, I guess that, I don't know, they do that for like other areas of the bullet train too, because this is so new. It says 2015, and so people don't know. I didn't know this, that this Shinkansen have names, but other ones are like Nozomi とか Hikari, Akita Komachi. とか。Akitakomochi is the name of the rice, brand of rice, but because it's going to Akita, it's the name of the prefecture in northeast Japan. So people know, right? People know the name, so I think that they put
Right.
that brand name on rice bullet train as well.
I was looking around to see if I could find a name, but I didn't see one. I didn't want to keep you waiting with the.
Oh no, I think that maybe because I looked at it in Japanese, it came up. I don't know if you try to look up in English, but
Yes.
that could be. No, I didn't know either. So I didn't go deeper, but Kim-san was mentioning, it's like, okay, there has to be a name, so.
Because Japanese people relate the name. For example, Hayabusa is a name of a hawk, so they can fly really quick. Hayate is also like a wind.
あ、そうなんですか。
Hayate のようにみたい
あ、そうなんだ。
な。fast, quick wind. And
Nozomi.
Nozomi is a hope. Hikari is a light, lightning fast. So that's a Shinkansen's meaning. The Japanese people related. Oh, I'll take a Nozomi to Kyoto.
So that would be the name of the train. What I was going for, since I couldn't find the name of the train, unfortunately, was the name of the company, just because that's what I could go off of.
JR Hokkaido or JR Tokai or JR Nishihon.
So there's different, I mean, to state the obvious, there's different regions of Japan, and the JR system, particularly for the Shinkansen bullet trains, is divided into those various regions, and actually that covers not just the Shinkansen trains, but other trains as well. JR Hokkaido shockingly covers Hokkaido. JR East covers going more so to the north and east of Tokyo. Central between Tokyo and I think just about to Kobe thereabouts, right?
Bullet train?
Japan.
Oh, not the bullet train, but the JR system.
JR って九州はないですか？
ありますよ。JR
Central? JR Central goes.
I don't know.
JR
I was wrong.
used to be 小町。
秋田
小町は米の名前です。
本当にごめんなさいですね。すいません。
You can tell us we love our trains.
JR is a Japan Railway, and it used to be when I was a child. It used to be Kokutetsu. It was National Railroad. So.
It was like so it was government owned, right?
Yes.
But then
they
it
privatized it, yeah.
Yes, right. Because
but they had so many lines that were in red figure. They didn't make any money.
Like
They was
like JR Hokkaido.
tax money, taxpayers' money, and then I think 1985. They said privatize national kokutetsu system to. I don't know why they use American name, but Japan Railway. And then they divide it into regions, like Hokkaido or Central or Western. And then that's why they started saying JR Hokkaido or JR Tokai.
The only
That's the
reason
background.
87って書いてありました。
87.
The only reason why I'm so familiar with like where the different JR sections are is that I've been planning various Japan-related vacations and how to get around. So they have to take this. So if you need information on where to go by rail in Japan, I'm your person. So we did that. Okay, so I'll return to my inner Michiko-san. Shinkansen no kaisha desu. Mutsu arimasu. Now, Wendy-san.
本州の青森。
this one here. Because that was me.
そうですか。
Mhm.
ところでどこに行きますか？
本州の青森に行きます。
青森って言えば多分。
あ、ごめんなさい。私が残しました。なんか
いえ
特にかけてた。なるほどね。青森だけで大丈夫と思う。
Probably most Japanese people understand Aomori is in Honshu.
Right. Though, I guess talking to the folk, I wanted to be sure that they especially if they're new about the geography, that you understand where we're going. It's a different island. It's the main island. But you're right. I think normally it would just be Aomori because you probably already know in advance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That was a very uncertain. Yeah. Is that,
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. And then one more line from our Wendy-san.
そうですか? なんで?
We're finally escaping. So, we'll go over this a little bit more just from the beginning, so that way we explain what's going on with each of these lines rather than just saying them. Good job, by the way. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you.
And then we'll pick up also next week explaining each line in piece. So, tanoshimi desu ne. Now, this was one that you edited. So,
はい
I originally put tanoshi desu. Now, the ne I understand. Why the me?
楽しみですね This is gonna be fun
So similar to tanoshimi ni shitaimasu.
そうそう楽しいですは when you're already there like if you like writing on something 楽しいですね like you know but grammatically I don't know but that is like because you haven't written on a train bullet train that's the expression って感じかなはい
これから
なんか残っちゃって
So we've used sorekara before, which more literally means sort of after that, or from that going forward. Korekara, so we've done kore versus sore. Kore this would be this. So going forward from this as opposed to going forward from that sometime in the... So sorekara would be with anticipation of something that has not happened yet. So you're pointing towards that in the future, whereas korekara would be from this moment going forward. Now, not just indefinitely, but korekara looking towards this train trip. Shinkansen is the bullet train in Japan. So, norimasu is one of our, it's one of our verbs that ends in ru, but it conjugates not like tabemasu, tabemasen, but has that ri in the middle. And the ni is a particle, like the particle we've been talking about in other cases. Ni can be used in a lot of different ways, one of which is to indicate direction, such as the verb iku, to go, or kuru, to come. It can also be used in the sense of riding on something, whether it's a horse, or a bus, or a train, for example. And so it connects this verb for norimasu, to ride something, to what you're riding, the train. Does that make sense? We'll go over particles in more detail not too long from now. So we'll be able to explain that each as an idea. Hajimete would...
So,
yes,
go ahead. I do have one question.
Sure, by all means.
The translation says we're riding the Shinkansen, but shouldn't it be more like after this we're riding the Shinkansen?
If taken literally, yes. Though you could also look at this from the point of view of if I'm on the track, hooray, we're riding the Shinkansen. It could mean, wow, I'm so excited that we're about to go do this. We're going to go on Splash Mountain kind of thing. Or it could mean, in another context, we're on the train already and we're in the midst of doing so. It could be one or the other.
I mean, if anything, we're going to ride the Shinkansen. Then it's like a near future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, literally, I guess from now or soon, we're going to ride a Shinkansen would be okay translation. But yeah, I guess we could add soon.
Yeah.
To make it like more, close to what Japanese sentences are translated into. I did add that word because otherwise it's just, I don't know, the timing. Because you're stating what you're going to do. I mean, I don't know.
or make it naturally sound. Maybe if you say 楽しみですね and then you can say これから新幹線に乗りますよ in natural conversation.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then hajimete would mean that it's a first time for something. Or does this mean first or first time? Hajimete?
First time.
First time. And then deska is what it's been doing the entire time. But des is M or R, ka makes it a question.
So was it that impressive, the Shinkansen, when you took?
Well, I had never ridden a train that goes that fast. And what was really impressive about it was that it's very fast, obviously. But when we passed a different train going the opposite direction, the entire train shook. And I was like, whoa, that was fast, because both the speed of an oncoming object and a going object. So it took all of like 3 or 4 seconds for the entire train to pass by. It was just boom, and we were both shocked. We're like, wow, it's the first time for me.
It's almost like Mach 1 speed.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, I can't imagine like being the poor bird that gets hit by this train going in another direction. They're
Well,
just
rest
magnetic
assured,
death machines going in 2 directions.
rest assured, you won't have to worry about it for long.
Yeah. I don't have to worry about anything.
Did
I
you
mean-
see Mount Fuji? If you are going from Tokyo to Kyoto, you see the Mount Fuji on the right side.
I don't think that I did get to see Mount Fuji.
I mean, you're on the left side of the train.
I may have been. Because I don't remember catching the sight.
I think you kind of have to be like, watching for it, because it's like it's not all the time that you're gonna see. So it's like, okay, we're gonna see the Mount Fuji. Like, where are we? Kind of like you have to really like paying attention to see it. Or if somebody else is like, oh, and then you can like, realize it. But otherwise, nobody's gonna tell you, So
Yeah, because after Tokyo and Shin Yokohama, after finishing Shin Yokohama, there are so many tunnels and tunnels. Oh my God, it's tunnels. After that, Shizuoka, when you enter Shizuoka, and then you see suddenly open space, and after that, that you see Mount Fuji.
so next time.
Next time.
I hope there will be one. I got plenty of mountain with Arashiyama.
Arashiyama.
Oh, but the Fujisan's different.
Yeah, I climbed that one.
Yeah.
So it was actually kind of dangerous. That was the funny part about it. Like I didn't expect it to be so dangerous. That was fun for me, but like all of the steps, they're ancient. It looks old. And then when you're getting towards the top, there's no guided path or anything. It's just like, well,
Where's the
take your
fun in
chances.
that?
Yeah. So we were literally just climbing like these steep parts to get to the top, and then like on the way up there, we see a bunch of monkeys.
Yeah.
And once we get to the top, they're just chilling there, like they just come up to you.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like it was really cute. Like the little ones, I had this umbrella with me. The little ones were playing around my feet and like tugging at it. Like it was a really nice time. We got to see the whole valley of Kiyomizu there. So that was really beautiful. Great experience.
Because I remember when I was at Kiyomizu that they had scaffolding there on part of the temple. Was that still there when you were there, or?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, lucky.
I don't think there was one when I was there. I was there a long time ago now.
Did you want to start your part of everything, or?
You can do a little more. I have some pictures of Shinkansen. It's kind of hard to see, or like here, but like it's quite fascinating. Like, cause they're like different kind. This is all komachi with the red, but other ones are blue. It's green, and
And they every 5 years or 6 years they update. They change the model.
And the classic one is like white with blue lines and like older. It's not as cool as this like stuff. And some people love taking pictures. Some people like to ride on those. So they have like different kind of like, I guess, what do you call it? なんか 乗り鉄とか鉄オとか鉄子みたいななんかありますよね。
It's for Japanese people. I think Shinkansen started when they had the original Olympic game in Tokyo in 1964. They built that train system back in 1964.
It's amazing.
From Tokyo to Osaka, and I think that was amazing. And the original Shinkansen
Buenos
looked like
días.
an airplane without wing. So the front of the Shinkansen looked like an airplane without wing.
Ah, that's true. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, nice.
And I know that at least once, I don't know if how often it was done, that there'll be a retirement ceremony for a model that's being.
The old hero being sent off.
Yeah. I don't know how common that is, but I know it happened at least once for one model.
I wonder where that went to with this country. Like before, we used to christen ships, breaking a wine bottle on them and everything. Now, like there's no kind of nationalistic pride in the United States over that.
We used to be a lot more ceremonial in this country.
I'm sure a lot of the decorum is gone, and maybe that's because we're so large and widespread as an entire country. But I find that interesting that Japanese people have so much pride in kind of the achievements of the nation. Like,
I think
you would
Japan.
never get names for trains here in this country. I think like nicknames like this, like.
I think there's more of an historical homogen. It's not obviously it's not just uniform, but that it is easier for Japan to have a collective identity, not about everything certainly, but about certain things, and it is the case in the United States. Even back when we did have like the banging the wine bottle against the ship, that it is the United States is, I mean. The word diversity is overused. I'll use heterogeneous. That it's so
Yeah, it's
there's
homogenous over there. Like it's understood.
it's more homogenous than here because obviously Japan is not homogenous because it's a country of over 120 million people. That's impossible. But
Sure.
it is
Culturally.
there is more cultural unity in Japan by comparison to the United States, and it is harder to have shared ceremonies in a country that has that many different geographic, different religious experiences, different ethnic experiences. I mean, you think about like the Austro-Hungarian Empire, where in the military orders are given in 15 different languages. Not joking, by the way. And that it's tricky to pull that off on a continental scale.
But I think beyond that, I think the Shinkansen and train, but Shinkansen for me, it has something. It is something special.
Yeah, only
Right?
when I was a kid, only special occasion to
Yeah.
go long distance. So I'm like, wow, this is fast.
Yeah.
It also has to feel kind of familiar. My impression is that Japanese people spend so much time in transit, either one way or another, on trains. So the trains kind of, in a way, feel a little bit like home. Like you're gonna see them every day. It's almost like I can understand. Like it's either like a home or like a character to you. Like you know this train, you're there every day, you see it all the time. So I can kind of see why.
And one thing I'd add to that, even though they're not government owned anymore, there still is a sense of communal attachment as though the trains themselves still, even if metaphorically, belong to Japan. That it is ours. In the same way that, for example, if they take the Green Bay Packers American football team, it belongs to the community. Literally. It's the only NFL team where that's the case, that it doesn't belong to just an owner. And that instills a sense of loyalty that it's not just, these aren't just mercenaries, that this is our team, or this is our train. Does that make sense?
Mm.
But on the other side, the Kokutetsu, the original national railroad system, was failed. It failed financially, and they privatized. But they didn't have any debt, so they had all the materials. They had all the systems already. So they're like a semi-government
Right.
public company.
Right.
So it's, some Japanese people like me, we think they should lower the price because they charge.
Oh yeah, it's expensive.
For traveling one person from Tokyo to Kyoto, okay, $100, okay for one person. But if you have a family of 4, they don't have a child's price. If you, for example, Arukun has to pay the adult price.
Yeah, I'm airplane too, but
Yeah.
You have a baby.
Yeah, you have to buy.
You have to buy the baby.
no, I don't think so. If you can carry.
If the baby doesn't take a seat, then it's okay. But
Oh,
if you
okay.
take a seat, I think I don't
It's
know.
hard, right? Like if it's too.
So it's pretty expensive to move around in Japan.
When I went, the Suica Pass was a big deal. Big deal. And they give you a discount if you're a tourist. But we didn't get that discount. Oh my god.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of the various JR companies. There'll be some kind of pass that usually you can only get outside of the or let's put it this way: it is less expensive to get it outside of the country. So for a certain number, you'll have a certain number of free days, for example, for one, or you can go for this applies for a week, whatever the exact system is. As one parting thought, because I don't want to eat into all of your time. Not all the JR companies are doing as well, just financially as each other. JR Central roughly between Tokyo on the one hand to Kyoto, Kobe, and Osaka on the other hand is unsurprisingly one of the more successful ones because so many of the larger cities are there. But by comparison, as we're leaving Hokkaido, just to bring one of those up, that even though they are building out the Shinkansen to go to Sapporo, it's been a regular feature the last several years to have various stations or even parts of lines, not of the Shinkansen, but of the more local trains being closed just due to not sufficient use compared to the maintenance of having these rail lines go to so many different places over such a wide island. So,
And Japanese people, some Japanese people think, do we really need Shinkansen to go to Sapporo? Most of the people taking cars, airplane.
No, airplane.
Airplane.
It's
Oh,
Hokkaido.
flying to Hokkaido.
I meant within Hokkaido. That's why I was.
No, to go to Hokkaido.
To Hokkaido plane, yeah.
And spending so much taxpayers' money into building the railroad system and expand that and putting debt on top of current debt.
Yeah.
Is that worth it?
I was just gonna say though, if you're a tourist, like from here you go to the Japanese consulate's office and you can get the JR pass, but you have to buy it like for 1 week, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
however, and you can travel as much as you want. And like if you're in Tokyo and you're gonna go to Kyoto or Osaka, it could work out well. But then other times you think, well, I can use it at all these other places, but sometimes it's not that great a deal and there's not that many, you're better off using one of the other train lines.
Right.
Yeah, I can. And it's for different parts of the country, not just anywhere in the country.
Do you want me to be facing you? Or?
So,
And if you're familiar with the Japanese system, you'll see, you saw the smoking section in Shinkansen also. There is a
It's not moving.
smoking car. And still to this day, and that entire car smells
I don't know
like
how it
cigarette.
works.
To be honest with you,
whoever's
I kind of
watching.
agree with that. I mean, I don't like the idea
Maybe you
of
should
government
pull back a
really
little bit.
stepping in to tell
Sure.
people how to govern their lives. If a private business wants to give people that option, like,
Why do they keep the smoking car? Because cigarette is controlled by a government.
no, the
Cigarette
railway
is
is controlled
by government. So they are related to the Japan Railway is still connected to the government. So they want to keep the smoking section, and even in the train station, most of the areas are non-smoking, but they keep the one section.
I remember
With the
those.
Japanese businessmen, they
Yeah, they
smoke
have like
cigarette.
these
Yeah,
glass
they smoke
places.
cigarette with the stress and talk to their colleagues. So.
近隣ルームお願いします。
はい。Okay. Well, let's move on. Anybody have something you memorize or you want to say?
神様は愛である。
Yes, we've done that many times. So remember that. Are you part of the Inotsa group?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I
Okay,
joined
good.
it.
I just want to make sure, because I remember sending you an invitation, but I usually manually add people, so I'm glad that it works. Okay, so that is our whole time. Last week we did this, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. This is what we did last week. Kevin actually memorized it right after and shared it with me.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm doing the same one as what they're doing in the Spanish class. So that was this last week, and so let's do this week what they're doing. And 誰が難しいって
No, sorry, it's just
Oh,
trying
I
to
thought you
remember the
said
word.
難しいmeans difficult. I was like, oh. はい、じゃあはいデイビッド
人人は外見によって判断するが、私は心と思いを見るからだ。サムエル、
Like, these are the difficult ones. I was like, oh. Actually,
I've seen them before. I just don't know how to say them. And is key. Oh, okay.
but it's different.
Would it be just pronounced ue or no? Oh, okay. Oh, Jo.
Joel.
Oh, ki Jo. 16章7節. Yeah.
Hi.
I recognize the kanji. I hadn't seen them together, so I wasn't sure how to pronounce them in this case.
Hi.
音読み、訓読みは
Very
難しい
good.
ですね。
Yeah.
はい、ミシェルさん。はい。
人は外見によって判断するが、私は心と思いを見るからだ。見るからだ。サムエル記16章7節。
はい。はい。
The Joel, is that referring to the fact that it's First Samuel?
Yes.
Interesting.
For whatever reason, they use Joe and Ge.
Huh.
For the version that I had, I don't think we use 1 and 2. Like, for example, New Testament, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John is 第一ヨハネ、第二ヨハネ, like number 1, number 2. But the Old Testament, I think it's Joe and Ge.
I don't think there is a third of anything in the Old Testament. I think there's because there's First and Second Samuel, First and Second Kings, etc., etc. But I don't think there's a third of anything though.
Yeah, well, I guess you could do Chuge, like, you know, that's older style, right? Jotoge.
Oh, I just meant in the Old Testament. I think there's a third book of something.
Yeah, no, but I think because it was translated a long time ago, maybe they used Joe and Ge.
Yeah, old fashioned.
Right?
way
Yeah.
to
I don't
distinguish.
Right, so like Davidson said, in English it's the first and second scene. But to indicate this is the first one, they use Joe like up and then down as referring first and second. So that's
Usually for the books, first part and second part is like Joe and Gen. Joe Kan and Gekan, like book.
we use that for other kind of books, right? Yeah. Okay. Hi. ひらがなどうですか?
I'm still not familiar enough with it to read it.
はい。じゃあ
99%? Okay.
Huh?
99%?
you pronounce it very well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I've gotten that compliment before from other Japanese people that I've met, but I can't read it. And like, it feels like I'm one of those like country bumpkins. It's like I never learned to read, but I can definitely spell it.
My friend, do you know how many times I've fallen flat on my face in this room?
So
It's part of the trials.
yeah, I have to work on it, and like I said, I don't have the time during the week. But I'm moving some things around in my schedule to see if I can really just sit down to study. I can say the sentence, I
Yeah,
think,
you
but
can say it. どうぞ。
人は外見によって判断するが、私は心と思いを見るから。サムエル記上16章7節。
はい。はい。いいです。はい。よろしいです。
You did very well.
He is reading this part, even
Yeah.
this part.
Right,
so.
right.
Still, the way he pronounced it, I would be butchering it. So
はい、じゃあロレットさんどうぞ。 I
Oh.
mean, if you want to do the, first part, or yeah, why don't you do it from here
To the comma?
to here, and I will
Okay.
continue.
Hito wa gai ken ni to yo te ho no ha han de no
You're in the right column.
dan.
Hard mode.
Did I get to the
No,
Almost.
okay, dan suru ga
私は
wa
心と思いを見るからだ。はい。
思い出す春の日 you would be frightened at how often my dad begins the first line of that song and expects me to keep going, so I've memorized it by this point.
That's your family, that's cool.
Yeah.
はい、これはよって、なんか、there's a pause, よって、like, よって、small two is like, if we put it in Romaji, it's like this, よって. When you have two, it's sort of like combines with the word next to it. よって.
after yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like a pause for us.
Oh, so it's more of a pause than emphasizing what comes
Well-
after it?
I think it combines the two. Because you
Okay.
do give an extra emphasis to the consonant right after it, in this case, the T.
Okay.
It's almost like when you double up a consonant in English. Like you think of like the way the British would say bottle. Like there's like you hear that extra T in a way that it's not usually heard in American English. But you do have that space in between them.
こんな感じ。あ、でも手だね。貼って、
学校
学校、
Mm-hmm.
こ
切って。
う学校、
学校 is it's K
学校。
School.
So it goes, combines with the other, the word next to it. So like, what we're saying, 切って。
切って。
これは this means, ミシェルさん。School.
Escuela.
Yes, school. 切って。Saying, 切って。切っては何ですか？知ってますか？切って。It's related to post office. はい。
Is it post stamp or
Stamp.
yeah.
Yeah. 聞いたことあった？ Have you heard it before?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just forgot.
Good. Yeah, that's good. You've heard of it. Yeah.
切って2枚ください。
It's interesting to see the Chinese character kanji in kitte. Literally,
Cut hand.
no, hand cut
Yeah.
is
This is hand.
Snap.
This is to cut.
cut.
Oh, because they were cutting by hand.
Maybe long
Yeah.
time ago.
If you think about cutting hands, it sounds
Not
like
Yeah.
his hand, but
Cause,
yeah.
cause
hand cut. Cutting,
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah, because when Chinese characters were first starting, of course, there weren't post stamps, so there isn't an inherent. In the same way that for electricity, you combine denki, it's lightning spirit. That there wasn't a kanji, back when kanji were first being created for electricity because of the obvious reason. So, yeah.
To think about. Okay, so 人 is a person. 人は外見 maybe you know because we know 外人 the word 外人 that's this kanji. So 外 means outside. And this kanji, what is this kanji, Michelle? miru, to look. So outside appearance, right? Outward appearance. 人は外見によって判断するが、判断する you know that? It's a little hard.
I've seen. I remember the second one being also in a verb for to travel or to go somewhere.
これ
Hi, or maybe I'm misremembering it.
違うかも. I think you're saying something else.
Possibly.
Yeah, because これ断るとか。
断る、判断の断、断る。
To say no.
or cut.
Yeah, maybe you think of the other word that you're thinking about.
Possibly, yeah.
判断 is to judge. So 判断する is to judge. 判断 is judgment, but 判断する is to do, right? Do judgment, so judge. So people judge
By what they see.
people by what they see or outside appearance. 私 is God, because God's speaking. 私 is God, but I は心。心は何ですか？ heart と思い。thinking 思いを見るからだ。So people judge other people by outside appearance, but God looks at our heart and thinking. This was written when God chose David as a king. David, Bible says he's beautiful, but youngest of all the brothers, and also I don't think he looked very strong at that time. So it's like he's gonna be the king. What? Right? But that's not what God was looking at. He was looking at David's heart to praise God and seek God and obey God. So that's where that come from. But I feel like it still applies to us in a sense that, yeah, if you're beautiful or whatever, like it's nice, but God really is looking at our hearts, like where our hearts are, where our heart is, and also what we're thinking. Are we praising God? Are we obeying God? So something for us to, remind ourselves that, and that's what matters to God, So, but we see things and we can be down or up depending on what we see or what people say, but that's not everything.
No, it is not.
これ覚えてきてください。人は外見によって判断するが、私は心と思いを見るからだ。もう一回。人は外見によって判断するが、私は心と思いを見るからだ。サムエル記上16章7節。はい、ということです。I would like even more is it better to はい、ということで終わりです。
And Gaiken, that's outside, but is that similar to park too, or Gaiken?
I think Koen is park.
What?
Koen is park.
Okay.
Yes.
But Gaiken does mean outside?
Outside appearance.
Outside appearance.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because the gen is going for the kanji that has to see, and the gai is for the outside, so it's what you see on the outside together.
So, other words that you might have heard is gaijin. Foreigner. So, gai means outside, and jin is
people.
Person. Yes,
Yeah.
people. So, people from outside. I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't have bad connotation.
To me, it does.
It could be used that way, but I don't find it to, like a gringo is offensive to some people. I don't think
Really?
people use it. I mean, some people.
Gaijin can be used as normally
Yeah.
non-Japanese.
It's not a derogatory.
Right. I mean, it's in the same way you call somebody a foreigner in English. It's not inherently an insult.
Exactly, right.
It's a fact.
Depends on how you say it,
Yes.
or context.
Yeah.
In the context, it could be,
Insultory
Yeah.
or like insulting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if, like me, you miss the Edo period, and you think, no.
Yeah, so it is like a regular word. Yeah, like it's not
Gaiken is outside
right.
looking
Gaiken.
appearance.
Yeah, outside appearance gaiken. Hi, so you see that kanji too. It looks like ta and to, right? Together.
Katakana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's katakana no ta でしょ? Katakana no to. ほら. I mean, this
Hi.
one has a little bit like this is sticking up, but when I write it, あ、こんにちは。はい。大丈夫です。はい。そうですね。ここです。あ、ここは違うんですけど、お連れします。あ、言っていただければ大丈夫です。あ、もう終わりです。
はい、はい、はい。
はい、いいですよ。あ、すぐだね。あ、大丈夫ですか？すみません。はい。あ、ごめんなさい。Sorry.
Well, that's all the time we have for today.
Because I kind of understood most of that.
Yeah.
But so, how many days were you there?
I was there 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I stayed at the Shinagawa Prince.
Shinagawa Prince, that's one of the best.
It was a really interesting experience. I didn't expect there to be a whole aquarium inside of my hotel.
They have aquarium?
Yeah. They even had like this dolphin show, like in the middle of the day. It was really crazy.
Where was that?
In Tokyo.
Which part?
I can't remember specifically, but yeah, it was in
Was
Tokyo.
it next to that big park? Like
no
behind
park.
it? Okay.
Shinagawa Prince Hotel.
Hmm.
It's probably Yoyogi Koen, Yoyogi Park.
That sounds familiar, but I don't remember the park being next to us. What I do remember being next to us was this. There was a building in front and a big ramen stand. There were just tons of shops of ramen around, and we would go there to eat at night because everything else was crazy expensive. So
Welcome to Tokyo.
yeah, I mean, like the most expensive thing that I remember, like being outside, like outsized in terms of how expensive it was, were the taxis at night.
Taxis, don't take taxi. That's why people take a train.
Take the trains.
That's what everybody else told us. And no, the problem was that we were in Nichome, I think.
Shinjuku?
No, where was it? It was no, it was the technology district.
Akihabara.
Akiba.
Akihabara.
You know, I-
the word Akiba?
Yeah, we were in Akiba.
Because Akihabara word is too long, so people
Yeah, they
start
people-
saying Akiba.
Hi.
They like kind of as a nickname.
Why
はい、あ、そうね。はい。じゃあありがとうございました。バイブルスタディまたつなげます。
And
また後で。